Hi, this is V, and I've just finished reading Strange Houses by Uketsu, translated by Jim Ryon. So this is quite a bit shorter than the books I typically read, but summary, I couldn't really resist another kind of scary house story. So, and I will say, I think this book managed to be kind of creepy almost right away, despite not having any supernatural elements whatsoever. So the story is told primarily from the point of view of a writer who has a specific interest in more macabre stories. He gets a lot of people who approach him with their ghost stories and haunted house stories, and these are kind of things that interest him. This particular account begins when a friend of his who is about to have their first child reaches out to him about a house that the couple is thinking about buying. At first glance, the house seems really ideal. It's a nice, quiet neighborhood, big, spacious rooms, very brightly lit, and everything about it seems really good. But upon closer inspection, there's this odd dead space between two of the rooms, that's walled up, where they don't, it doesn't really make sense that it exists in this floor plan. And the longer they think about this house and the way it's laid out, the more something about it strikes them as being slightly off. And so they reach out to the main character to see if he has any advice for them. And in turn, he reaches out to a friend of his who works at an architecture firm to see what kind of what might be going on in terms of the house's overall design, whether or not the floor plan gives them any clues as to whether there is something fishy going on, and whether or not the friend who wants to buy the house should actually go through with that purchase. And as they begin to examine the house, his architecture firm friend throws out this theory that seems really outlandish at first, that maybe this house was actually designed for the purpose of committing murder. And the main character thinks maybe he's just letting his imagination get away with him, but sometime later, he learns when his friend decides not to purchase the house, that a body was actually discovered on the property. So, this mystery kind of captivates the main character's attention, and his investigations just reveal increasingly bizarre things about the previous owners of the house and the entire history behind these weird designs and the family and all the connections. So, let's see. Something I liked. I think it definitely gets the creepy element down pat, despite, like I said, it doesn't actually have any supernatural elements. I think it definitely leans into the horror factor. It has a kind of creepiness that I guess maybe it's just more common in Japanese mysteries, but I think I do tend to like that creepiness and the strange factor going on, and I actually like hearing the characters discuss their theories and kind of unpack the possibilities of what might have been going on. Something that I did not like. I know it's pretty common in Japanese literature to leave stories open-ended, but it's not really something that I like in stories. This one definitely leaves questions hanging. On the bright side, it does provide enough in the way of potential answers that it doesn't feel completely open-ended, but it also leaves questions that have you wondering whether or not the answers that the characters found is actually the truth. Also, the style of this story is interspersed with transcripts, which I typically don't really enjoy reading as a format, where you just have the name and then they say blah blah blah. I think overall that text structure is not really a format that I like as much.